If you are right-wing, I need you to stop and listen to what I have to say. It's You have to hear me out, okay? Fall for the manipulation of the whole free speech thing right now. We cannot fall for it. Like, we cannot hand the left what they want. We cannot give them the satisfaction of that narrative. All right, for the sake of Charlie, for the sake of every American who cherishes liberty, okay, we must defend free speech. Okay, I get it. Okay, like, I know it's hard. We're living in times of division, grief, and uncertainties. Emotions are running high, and tempers flare. But it's in moments like this where it's easy to lose sight of the very principles that make us who we are. I stand before you today not to defend Jimmy Kimmel's words or his tone or his repeated attacks on the MAGA movement. I disagree with much of what he says, okay? And I know many of you feel the same way. But this isn't about liking him. This is about defending something bigger, something sacred, something that Charlie believed in, and that was our right to free speech. Okay, there's many claims going on right now about, the Kimmel pre-recorded the show, or if that was the case, then it wouldn't have been live. And I'm sure by now everyone has heard that the Trump administration had gone to the director of the FCC, who contacted ABC to pull Kimmel's show. Now, I have gone through the FCC regulations a lot today. And yes, Kimmel did violate FCC regulations for his conduct and not acting in the best interest of the people in times of, like, hardships and crisis. But here's the thing. Now, with how delicate everything is, accountability is not the same as censorship. Okay, the FCC is not meant to silence political opinions. The FCC's role is to regulate obscenity, decency, and not to shield us from viewpoints that we disagree with. If we support Kimmel's removal simply because, of what he said, it's fucking wrong what he said, or criticizes conservatives or our president, then we betray the very fucking values of free speech that Charlie died for, okay, that we claim to fucking defend. Okay, we hand the left a weapon, which is a chance to call us hypocrites. That's the weapon. We become what they need us to be, which is emotional, reactionary, and willing to silence others when it suits us. But that's not who we are. Okay, that is not who Charlie Kirk was. Charlie stood for free speech, not selective speech. Not speech that feels good, but the principle that the government must never, ever decide what voices can or cannot be heard. I have to think that Kimmel did this on purpose, pre-recorded or not, because he knew it would get the reaction that it did, and that he would be canceled, okay? And guess what? Now the left has a fucking martyr. All right? Pretty much, we canceled him for the exact same reason why they shot Charlie. Okay? And that's not what we cannot hand that to them. Okay? So with that said, I say this right now. We need to reinstate Kimmel. We have to reinstate him, even if we don't want to. And it's to show that we are the bigger fucking person, because we support the Constitution, because our strength is not in silencing our enemies, all right, but in defeating their arguments of truth, all right, logic and conviction. All right, if Kimmel has manipulated the public, then let the people see it, let the people hold him accountable. That is the American way, not censorship by choice. Okay, we cannot allow grief or anger to blind us right now. The left, the narrative that they fucking desperately want. Instead, right now we need to be very logical, principled, and unwavering. For the sake of Charlie, for the sake of every American who cherishes liberty, and for the sake of keeping our government in check, we must defend free speech consistently. And that means right now, in this moment, in this time, to reinstate Kimmel, we have to make it known that we do not agree with even the possibility that the claim of Trump's administration or Trump going to the director of the FCC and pulling Kimmel, even we cannot even let that be a maybe, because if it is, then our freedom of speech is already in jeopardy, and we have to do something about it now, and we cannot allow our fellow Americans, left or right or whatever, to take away what makes our country great and our freedoms, or we lose everything altogether, no matter what side you're on.